It's time to buckle up for a new episode of Raise Nation Radio, the one and only podcast made to inspire fundraisers like you to continue making impact in our communities, building better tomorrows, and exchanging ideas. So whether you're a trailblazer or seasoned pro, you'll pick up the trends that transform your fundraising. And together, we'll dive into lively conversations and chat with industry-leading fundraisers and thought leaders to explore hot-button issues and innovative ideas. So stay with us for the next 30 minutes while we inspire you to embrace the future of fundraising. All right, let's get going. It's always a special episode when I get to welcome some of my colleagues to the show. As many of you know, if you're new to the show, you might not know. So please tune in. We're on demand at Raise at OneCause.com. And we also stream on 10 podcast channels. So you can find us everywhere. But if you're familiar with the show, you know that we have the voice of the nonprofit. We have thought leaders and everything in between. But sometimes my colleagues make a special guest appearance on the show. And that's exactly what's going to happen today. So it is the end of the year. So happy giving season, happy holidays, happy New Year's. We thought it would be really cool to do like a year in review. And I have to shout out to my colleague, Blair for giving us this suggestion. She's on the marketing team with me, and it was such a wonderful suggestion. So Raise Nation is actually experiencing a number of milestone events. We just had our year anniversary. We've broadcast 67 episodes. This is the 68th. And we are planning to build it more into the new year. But before you go ahead, you kind of want to take a step back. And we are going to do the highlights, the year in review, the top 4 or 5, and really get you inspired about fundraising and heartwarming nonprofit stories. So to help me do that is some of the content team members here at OneCause. They're all incredible. And I think why this is special is because it's important to know that we don't just push content here. We understand 100% that software alone is not going to be the end all be all. You have to have good service and support. You have to have a community and stay relevant and ahead of the times. And that's what the content team is here to do, to bring those tips, tricks, trends, success stories forward so that you can have the tools that you need to further your fundraising and build your mission beyond the software. And we feel like we're in it together to build better tomorrows. And we really take that to heart. So as we're pushing this content out, hopefully being very valuable to you and your teams, we're feeling it. We're getting the stories. We're feeling the pain. We're getting aligned to the mission. Some of us are even taking action and doing things to support our fundraisers. It's beautiful to see behind the scenes, but you don't always get to see that. Today, you're going to get to see that. So to help me are some of my colleagues. I would love for them to introduce themselves, talk a little bit about what they do at OneCause, a little bit about them personally. And well, here's to some bringing the behind the scenes, front of the scenes. So Blair, Sarah, Maggie, welcome to Raise Nation Radio. You've supported the show in so many different ways. It's nice to have you finally here and being guests on the show.
Thank you, Dawn. I'll go ahead and introduce myself to all of those fearless fundraisers out there. I'm Blair Carlin. I do growth marketing and content marketing here at OneCause. Like Dawn said, we're really just a team of fundraiser advocates, I would say, pushing out content and making sure it gets to you all and in front of all the fundraisers that really need our content and do great things in this world. So I've been at OneCause for like 3.5 years. I live in Cincinnati. I have a golden doodle, and I've really enjoyed being in this space and in the nonprofit industry and really learning from fundraisers as well as learning from everyone at the awesome team at OneCause.
You can't stop at I have a golden doodle. What is the golden doodle's name?
His name is Nash. He just turned 3 and he's like our team mascot.
That's right. Nash makes a lot of appearances on Zoom calls. We love him. And he was even our team name for Indie Tech Gives. Every department at OneCause participates in an annual fundraiser called Indie Tech Gives. And this year we were Nash's Angels. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So fun. All right. We also have Maggie Kavanaugh. Hi, Maggie.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here today. Big Raise Nation Radio super fan. So very excited to actually be on an episode. So I do product marketing and content marketing here at OneCause. I've had the pleasure to be on the marketing team for 1.5 years now. I just love the little community that we have within OneCause, and our team is very special to me. A little bit about myself. Based out of Indianapolis, love to cook, and I'm just so grateful to be here.
Aw, so sweet. And you came from the OR Fellowship, is that right, Maggie?
Yeah, I'm currently still in it. Got like 5 more months left in the program, but it's a post-grad program. It helped connect me with OneCause, and I'm just so grateful for it.
Gosh, was that really 1.5 years ago? It feels like yesterday. But yeah, I guess so. So congratulations on that milestone as well. That's kind of exciting. And last but very not least, we have the lovely and still in her honeymoon phase, Miss Sarah Lewis. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, I'm still not used to hearing that name.
I try to make a point of it all the time.
I know. I love it. I love it. Well, yes, I am newly Sarah Lewis, a senior marketing specialist on our marketing team. I've been at OneCause the same as Blair, 3.5 years. We started together. And my primary role is content creation. So providing those fundraising insights and ideas to all the fearless fundraisers listening. And I love learning alongside the fundraisers as well as I'm researching those tips and tricks to bring to them. But from Indianapolis, I have Nash's best friend, a mini Bernedoodle named Moose. So when I'm with
Moose too. We have to be Moose's angels this year for Indie Detectives.
There we go. There we go. Yeah. So when I'm not writing content, I'm just being a mother.
So how's the honeymoon going? Are you still in that swooning phase?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's so fun. Some of us, actually all of us, had the pleasure of attending your wedding, and we've recently seen some pictures. And I've got to say it again, they actually look like the fake picture that you would get when you buy a frame, like when you're at wherever you buy frames and you see like the perfect frame and then the perfect picture in the perfect frame. That's your wedding picture. It's just so special. You were radiant, Sarah. So congratulations. And it was wonderful to celebrate that milestone with you, really.
You are too sweet.
Well, we want to get to some Raise Nation Radio episodes and the best of the best, what really resonated. And let's get started. So, Blair, I think you might have one that kind of resonated with you. You feel aligned to. Let's bring that one forward.
Perfect. Yes, I do. And I will say the long title so everyone can search it in their Google as they're listening. But don't do that if you're driving and listening first. So the episode I chose as my favorite in 2022 was the former Minnesota Vikings players and Black Leaders Center for Youth and bringing community together. And that featured Beth Holger, who is the CEO of the Link Minnesota. And what I really loved about this episode was I felt like it was the perfect intersection between giving actual tangible fundraising tips from Beth, a lot of empathy in your conversations with her, Dawn, and just there were some conversations about going through the pandemic and coming out on the other side and kind of taking a look back and reflection of everything that the nonprofit industry went through. And then also there was a lot of inspiration from what Beth was sharing with their fundraising approach to having a youth-led community. And they went from just an idea, I think it was in 1991, and fast forward to today, they have almost 200 employees that work at the Link. So I think just the journey that was laid out in that episode, it took me on a path as an audience member listening, and it gave me inspiration. It gave me fundraising tips. It gave me insights from Beth, and just really how selfless she is leading that organization and taking that volunteer-based approach as a leader. It was really, really inspiring to listen to.
Yeah, I agree. I think what I love is the two things that I took away from that was the Minnesota Vikings just really turning their name and their heart into a mission and being so involved and so hands-on and just lending themselves to the community in such a way that they're really delivering impact and empowering the youth to lead the mission, to be involved, to have a say in what is what programming they're doing and how they know best what they need and want. And so it's not just a group of people in a boardroom making those decisions. It's really youth led. And that I've never heard of that before. So I'm not surprised that it struck you the way it did, Blair, because it really was different, unique, inspiring, and very community based and integrated. Anybody involved is really integrated into the mission. Did anyone else listen to that episode and have any thoughts to share about that?
I did. I really liked this episode. And I think this is one thing that I really like about Raise Nation as a whole is just connecting me as a listener to causes that I might not be as familiar with. Like, I've never been to Minneapolis, would love to go visit it, but like learning about this cause that's so ingrained in that community and just learning about how it's so dedicated to the community that it's built around the organization, was just so impactful to me. I love, like, obviously you have national run nonprofits, but finding those more community-based, city-based, even enterprise level, like nonprofits that you might not be as familiar with, it's just so awe-inspiring and just makes me want to get more connected and familiarize myself with even more missions, because I know there's so many good things that people are doing out there that like I might just not know just based on where I live. So I thought it was just so awesome to be able to like hear a little bit more about their mission and like see how I can get involved living in Indiana. So it was one of my favorite episodes too, Blair.
That's pretty special. And that's spot on. That's fantastic. Maggie, Sarah, did you get a chance to listen to it or brush up on it at all, or have any comments to anything that we're all saying and sharing?
I will add to what Maggie said. I think that's the most special part of our job is to be able to hear from those nonprofits that we get to give a voice to their mission, whether it's through these podcasts or through these success stories that you'll find on our website. The fact that we get to add just a little bit of extra special love to the mission that they put their heart into every day is just so special. So, Dawn, you did a great job with that interview.
Yeah, I remember. Thank you. Thank you so much. But it wasn't, about me. It was really about them and Beth. And I remember when she finished when we wrapped that episode, she said, I think I need to do more podcasts. I'm like, yeah, I think you do. So hopefully she is, and continuing to share her mission with any avenue or channel that she can get her hands on, because that was pretty special. Thank you so much, Blair, for bringing that one forward. And shout out to that team there that's just doing such wonderful work in the Minneapolis area. All right, Maggie, what do you have for us? Which one resonated with you?
Oh, that was a tough one. There was obviously so many good episodes to choose from. But the one that I chose was episode 51. It was with Jackie Jordan from WIS Foundation Eastern North Carolina chapter. And so the official first title, if everyone's looking for it, is Jackie Jordan on donor engagement and bringing supporters into your mission. I heard of Jackie prior to the episode. So this is what kind of piqued my interest when I first saw it go live on the little Raise Nation landing page that we have on our website. She actually has the opportunity to be one of our customer advisory board members. So I was like, oh, that's so interesting that we got a chance to interview her for Raise Nation. And so it was really cool to learn more about the Make-A-Wish structure, how it's more locally chapter run, and how they go about creating the whole wish journey for a potential child and a potential wish grantor. It was just really cool to be able to hear about the impact that Make-A-Wish has, their fundraising strategy, and how it kind of just really empowers Jackie as a fundraiser and a marketer to do better for her mission. So it was a great episode. Highly recommend everyone listen to it.
Now, is Jackie on the CAB or the National Advisory Board? Do you know which one?
I think she's been on it for 2 years. So I think she was originally on just the regular customer advisory board. And I think it's just the regular one, but I know she's really passionate about OneCause. It was nice to see her story and learn a little bit more about her cause.
So do we want to share what we're talking about with CAB and National Advisory Board? Are you involved? I think you might be involved in both of those groups, or at least one of them, Maggie, in support of the whole product marketing. So we probably want to talk about what they are.
Totally.
So our listeners know. Yeah.
So our customer advisory board are kind of like our hand raisers. So they're different customers that work with OneCause for their fundraising needs. And they are kind of like our council of like where we pitch our ideas to. So they meet with us on a monthly basis, and we kind of go through like what their needs are, different product updates to get their opinions, and just really hear some like firsthand feedback on our product, how we can make it better, and how we can continue to empower different missions.
Yeah, I don't know that our audience knows all the behind the scenes and what we go through, at OneCause to really make sure that our products and services are exactly what fundraisers need. And that's just one of the programs. So I thought it was important to chat about that.
Totally.
But any thoughts about that episode? I remember speaking with Jackie, and it's not a surprise to me that she had such a great episode and that it stood out to you, Maggie, but also that she's on our customer advisory board. She's just a dynamic personality, and she came from the stage. I believe she did a lot of communications and hosting. So it was nerve-wracking for me because she hosted maybe a radio show, or she had been MC in a position to be an MC many times on a stage. And when she had the opportunity to transition over to Make-A-Wish, they retained her as, the MC for some of their events. And so she kind of holds a dual role a little bit, or volunteers, at their events. So that was pretty special and made a lot of sense to me just in talking to her. But that was a little bit nerve-wracking because she was just so good. But anything from Blair or Sarah on that episode?
Yes. And Maggie, I heard you say marketer when talking about Jackie Jordan. And I couldn't agree more. In that episode, she was talking about crafting mission messaging and the way they approach it at Make-A-Wish, and just her whole experience as a host, like you said, Dawn, and MC, how she approaches sharing the mission of whether it's a company, nonprofit, or just an individual, your personal mission as well. I think, Sarah, when you said before, like, we learn so much from nonprofits and how they craft their mission and how they frame it. I totally took that away from the episode, and I really appreciated, as a marketer myself, I appreciated hearing how she values communication and that messaging, whether it's to donors, to board members, to supporters, to fellow employees at the nonprofit. So it was really, I was taking down notes. It was really cool to hear.
Oh, absolutely. I've heard I always have my pen and paper out when I'm listening to episodes because the little doses of inspiration are just so plenty. But I think specifically with the mission messaging, she is lucky enough to have such a powerful mission to talk about and to market. The Make-A-Wish Foundation, I think, is near and dear to a lot of our hearts. We've fundraised on behalf of them before, company-wide. So that was obviously an inspiring part of our job, is to be able to hear from those missions, but then actively take part in them as well. So I love that episode from all of Jackie's pieces of inspiration, but also just their mission as a whole. It's near and dear.
Now, Make-A-Wish was our Indie Tech Gift recipient for 2022. Is that right? My years start to get clouded, but isn't that we do an annual event for our listening audience. We do an annual event where we pull together a lot of tech companies from the Indianapolis, Indiana area. I don't know how broad we go out, but each company selects a nonprofit, and the entire team raises money. And ours was for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's where Team Nash's Angels come in to play.
Full circle.
Yeah, we hit our goal. I think we just about maybe exceeded it, just a little bit, but it really goes to show how we're integrated with our all of the customers that we serve. It's one family, and right from our CEO who delivers the message, like, we have a purpose. We are building better tomorrows together, and we really are integrated. These success stories or Raise Nation radio episodes or whatever content piece we're working on, they're not just words to us. We're really listening, paying attention, and, it's affecting us one way or the other. So that goes to the next one. Sarah, which was the one that resonated with you?
Absolutely. Yeah. The episode that came to mind for me was one that featured one of our consultants, Stacey Engstrom. And so
love her. Love her.
Right. Well, you two were dynamic, and it's the title for everybody listening is The Art of Engagement. It was back in February, and it really started off by just addressing how events have changed in the past couple of years. The entire fundraising world has changed, and we don't have a cookie cutter formula for events anymore. So anything is fair game. So I loved the ideas that she shared about making sure, whether your guests are in person or they're at home, that everyone feels engaged with your mission. So whether that's through watch parties or special shout outs, she even had a kiss cam idea, which Dawn, I know you hooked on to. But I just thought it was a great episode. And I think after putting on a hybrid event ourselves, I think 2022 in September, that's really why I was drawn back to this episode, because hybrid events are no joke, y'all. We were planning and executing really 2 events at the same time, but I think we all learned so much from it. It was truly so rewarding. It was the most rewarding raise thus far for me, because we got to reach and engage with so many fearless fundraisers, but we got to put ourselves into the nonprofit world of putting on that hybrid event. So that's kind of why I was drawn.
So we have empathy.
For sure.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. We have empathy. It is no joke. So let's talk about the Raise conference a little for our listening audience who may not be familiar. OneCause hosts and sponsors in a very large part an annual conference. It typically takes place in September each year. It's a 2-day conference. This year, we're going to Nashville. Who's excited about Nashville, September 11th and 12th?
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I'm really excited. So this year, it's going to be at the Country Music Hall of Fame. That's the venue. That's the backdrop. And super exciting. I think we're going to see a lot of faces there. And what Sarah was alluding to is that for Raise 2022, we put on a hybrid. So we're going through the same thing as all of you are. We had an in-person event that had to go virtual, and then finally hybrid. And wow, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of uncertainty, and we really empathize with what you guys have to go through, how to engage 2 audiences and deliver a really quality program. Anyone else want to comment on this year's Raise conference?
I think kind of echoing what Sarah said, right when the pandemic hit, our team was really focused on getting that virtual content, and then it evolved kind of into hybrid content. How do we help fundraisers execute a hybrid event? So we were talking about tech budget, how do we stream, like every facet of a hybrid event. And then with Raise 2022, kind of putting our money where our mouth is, we were able to dive into everything that event specialists and fundraisers across the country and the world have been doing for the past 2+ years. So I think it like everyone said, it was rewarding, but we kind of got to put our helpful content to the test. And I think it was a success, if I had to say so myself.
Yes, it was a success. You guys really knocked it out of the park. I was there, and I lead some of the sponsorship for Raise together with Sarah Lewis. And watching that all come together was pretty remarkable. Who else has some thoughts from the Raise conference? This is a good conversation.
I can share. So like every time I've been able to experience both the when I joined OneCause, both the completely virtual conference and then the hybrid conference. So excited for Nashville to be like fully in person, but I would definitely agree with both Blair and Sarah that like the hybrid one, I would definitely say was so rewarding to be able to be like, okay, we're teaching all these fearless fundraisers different tips and tricks that they can use in their hybrid fundraising efforts to meet donors where they need to be. Obviously it's a lot of work, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of planning. But just having that impact and allowing people to kind of attend how they're most comfortable with, is just really rewarding. So was very much like a fan of Raise 2022, but so excited for Raise 2023.
Well, who can't be excited? We just had the pleasure of doing a site visit at the Country Music Hall of Fame. Was it not spectacular?
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So
I
awesome.
cannot wait for September to be here.
Well, don't rush it. We have a lot to do. So what's available right now for our audience? Do we have tickets launched?
Absolutely.
We do.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Call for speakers. Is that launched?
Yep.
Okay. And I might as well go for the trifecta: sponsorship prospectus and sponsorship opportunities. Is that out there?
Just launched today.
What? Okay. So head on over to, is it onecause.com/raise?
You got it.
I'm so glad I know these things. For everything Raise, we really hope to see you there in Nashville. It's going to be epic. The Country Music Hall of Fame is just amazing. And we are going to try to deliver that quality programming that you've come to love. It's in our 7th year, and it's super exciting. But we want to get back to Sarah's episode. Isn't Stacy just a love? I just love her. She's just so adorable and dynamic and so full of tips. But I remember that because she really had some great things, and I think great ideas. But I think that's another team outside of marketing that also really gets into what our customers are doing. I mean, we always see Slack messages about, who's doing this or success here. We open up a lot of meetings at OneCause with, what are our fundraisers doing? What success are they having? How have we helped them further their mission with powerful fundraising solutions? We get into it. And that's another team that really gets into it as well, I think. I mean, who has a lot of connections with the whole consulting team here?
I definitely do. And I couldn't agree more. It made me think about the title, The Art of Engagement, of yes, it's totally an art. It's not a science. And that team does such a good job of adapting their strategy to the specific nonprofit, to the fundraiser. It's not a one size fits all approach. It's really, that team does such a great job of being creative, using different resources that either the nonprofit has or OneCause has, to really push our mission forward in our core values of like, how can we be helpful? How can we be curious? How can we be passionate over a common goal and a common mission? So shout out to our consulting team. Shout out to Stacy. They just do such a good job.
Yeah, they really, and
shout out.
Yeah. And it goes back to great software is great, but that alone is not enough. It takes service and support and people who care. And I think we really, try to deliver that through content, through professional services, consulting and support, and through great software. So that's pretty cool to see. All right. Anything more about this, Stacy? Did anybody else get to listen to it or anything resonate with anyone there?
Yeah. I would say that the one main takeaway that I got there was a lot of takeaways, but the main one from Stacey's was obviously just tapping into her just knowledge base. Just like I kind of echoing what everyone else has said, like our consultants just are like experts in the industry and really are like motivated to make sure that they can like come up with these creative solutions. And I just love listening to this episode because I was able to be like, oh, these are just like great ideas that like I can take back into my role and in the content team and be able to like serve them up in a new way. So it's like, okay, these are great ideas that if I need to share out in a different form, that we can really keep promoting these new and innovative ideas. So more fearless fundraisers can have access to this amazing kind of talent knowledge base.
Yeah, that's a nice testimony to our consulting team. So thank you for making that point, Maggie. This is a special group here. We're 300 strong, but we're all pretty passionate, right? That's one of our core values too, being passionate. So it's all good. All right. So do you want to hear my favorite episode?
Yeah.
Well, all 67 of them are my favorite. But there was one that really took me back a little bit. It was featuring one of our customers, Robert Shear. And the title is Dignity is Not Acquired from a Trash Bag, featuring Robert Shear from Comfort Cases. That's his nonprofit. And the mission is about helping foster children who are being displaced or moving to a new family, helping them a little bit with that transition. And here's why it really got to me. He laid it out. He laid it on the line, and he made it very clear that when a foster child is going to a new family, either on a temporary basis or maybe a long period of time, they literally take all of their belongings and put them in a trash bag. And that's how they're sent off to the new family. I had all to do but to choke back the tears. And he shared a story with me that he asked a social worker why a trash bag? And the social worker responded with, well, what else would they put their stuff in? And that even blew my mind as well, that perhaps people involved with helping foster children move and transition are not seeing, necessarily the problem. So thank goodness for Robert Shear that he is bringing this mission to life. He actually has Comfort Cases all about giving a case, a beautiful backpack, something much more dignified than a trash bag, filled with things. And really, they sound small things, but like things like just a stuffed animal to cuddle. Imagine that young child going to sleep in a brand new home overnight. I just can't imagine. So the episode really took me back and really made me think. It's made me even think about being a foster family myself. But then we actually inspired some people at OneCause. So Missy Marchant, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name right. Does anybody know if I got that right? Missy's last name. How do I say that?
You got it right.
I did? Okay. Yeah. So she actually, I think she's the customer service manager for Comfort Cases, was so moved by this story that she actually did her own Comfort Case collection. And she posted it in one of our Slack channels. And she just sent a mountain of Comfort Cases that she collected. It was so beautiful to see this literal mountain of backpacks that she was donating to Comfort Cases. And then everybody replied, why didn't you tell me? I would have donated. Da, 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 da. So, we kind of said next time, you have to include us. But it's just another way that we're so integrated and aligned with our customers. And it means something to us. It's very meaningful and it gets us, right in the heart. So did any of you guys see that Slack post from Missy or hear about that whole story? It was pretty moving.
Oh, yes, definitely. I was posting it on social. I was like, yes, I love this. I want to get involved next time she does something like that.
Yeah, I do too. Sarah, Blair, anything from you guys?
Yeah, I think that's a through line, kind of what we've been talking about with a lot of the employees at OneCause is passion kind of carries just beyond our 9 to 5. So a lot of missions that come across our desk, we feel passionate to take those outside of or take them into the 5 to 9, I guess you could say. But I also, speaking of this episode, Dawn, I was just struck by the level of empathy that Robert really brought to Comfort Cases. And it can be so easy just to walk through life, see those children throw their stuff in a trash bag and then just take their stuff from point A to point B. You can observe that and say, oh, like you said, what else would they put them in? But it's like, well, let's take a step back. Robert did that for us and for everyone to realize, let's do something a little bit more dignified. This is a person. This is a person's things. It holds value. So I just appreciate so much a person that stops in their tracks and says, this is not okay. And what can we do about it? So I just had a very high level of respect and for Robert and for the mission that he's carried through to today.
Yeah, Sarah, any thoughts?
Yeah, this team loves Brene Brown. And
we do.
One of her most famous TED Talks is about vulnerability. And I think that is really what he embodied in that whole episode, was just being vulnerable about talking about himself and his mission. And then, and because of that, he was one of our Raise Award winners, Storyteller of the Year. So I think it's no wonder why he got that award, because what a great storyteller. That episode actually was in one of my tops as well, Don. So I'm glad that you touched on it.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the Raise Awards, because our audience, this is the episode where you find out everything that goes on, at OneCause. Who wants to take that? What are the Raise Awards, and how can our listening audience get involved?
I can take that one. I had the honor and the privilege to help with Steve Lausch coordinate the Raise Awards this year. So I actually got to read their submission, and I was crying while I was reading it. It was so moving. So I was so excited when I saw that Comfort Cases was being featured on an episode, because I was like, oh my God, I was so moved by their submission for the Raise Awards. But anyways, back to the question at hand. Raise Awards is part of the Raise Conference. We have 3 different categories that you can apply to: Fundraiser of the Year, Innovative Nonprofit of the Year, and Storyteller of the Year. Each of the categories highlights different parts of the nonprofit's mission and how they kind of went about their fundraising and sharing their mission throughout the year. If you want to learn more about the different categories, go to the Raise Conference website. But you can apply. We're looking for, I don't know if the Raise Awards are open yet for this, accepting submissions yet, but they'll come next year. And you get a monetary award for just submitting if you win. And it's just an amazing way to just honor all these amazing nonprofits, missions, and all the work they're doing for their communities.
Yeah. And Steve's tapped me up to be a judge year after year. So it's something that I always look forward to. As soon as I hear Raise Awards, I'm slacking Steve. I'm like, don't forget, I want to judge again, because the stories are, really awe-inspiring. So what do we want our audience to know just about, the marketing team, the content team, and the content that we put out into the community beyond the words, right? Because they really are not just words for us. So I didn't prepare you guys for this question, so I apologize in advance, but I know you'll deliver. So what do we want our audience to know? I think I'll start. So give you time just to think a little bit. For me, we want to know what you want to know so that we can write about it. We want to be relevant, and we want to stay a beat ahead so that you could be a beat ahead. So, Blair Carlin, Maggie Kavanaugh, Sarah Newley Lewis, Dawn Lego, hit us up. If there's something that is really important to you, let us know, because we want to make sure that we're on point with what you need and with what you want with all of our content. And if you go to onecause.com resources, you'll see infographics, video, webinar, ebooks, blog, the podcast. I'm sure I'm missing something, but anybody else want to just give some messaging to our audience about what they need to know with respect to our content?
Definitely. Just a testament to what you just said, Dawn, of being a beat ahead, and our team really trying to give the tools, the tricks, the strategies to fundraisers. I think from what I can say, a nonprofit can say even better. So I was talking to a nonprofit and a fundraiser. I'm blanking on the nonprofit's name, but maybe it'll come to me in a second. But I was interviewing her for a success story, and we got to talking about our resources. And I said, I'm the perfect contact if you need any suggestions, you need a piece of content that you want created. We are an open book, and we really want to publish what you all need. And she had a very, very nice compliment for our team and just for OneCause as a whole. She comes to us in our resource center to get a step ahead, to see what other nonprofits are doing. Yeah, to see what's on the cusp of the fundraising edge. And I took that as a very, very high compliment. And she actually even said sometimes she'll send out our resource centers to other nonprofits in her surrounding area. So that was just a really good step back moment for me and for us, for our team. But I also think that doesn't just keep happening without us interacting with fundraisers and nonprofits and learning from each other in a two-way street like that. And I don't want to stop that anytime soon. So keep it rolling.
Yeah. Sarah, Maggie, anything else to add?
I love that, Blair. Actually, you hit on what I was thinking as well, that we are here to bring the ideas and the inspiration that are outside of the box, but it all really comes from you all fearless fundraisers. We love sharing customer success stories. And if you do have a story to tell, we're here to tell it for you. So if you want to reach out to marketing at OneCause.com, we would love to partner with you. But we are here to tell your story and hopefully give you those ideas and doses of inspiration.
And if you'd like to be a guest on Raise Nation Radio, just reach out. We love to have the voice of the nonprofit. So it's all very special. I love what we talked about today. This is our top 4, our year in review, top 4. And we're going to head into 2023 with a vengeance. I think we're going to have to do this again. Will you all meet me this time next year? Same time, same place, just a year later, and we can do a top 4 review of 2023.
Oh, yes.
Be there.
Great.
My calendar.
After we get through Raise.
Yes.
What do we like to call it? The Raise craze?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's got a name and everything. Well, Fearless Fundraisers, that's about all we have time for today. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's Raise Nation topic and getting to know the marketing team a little bit better, along with your daily dose of fundraising inspiration. Tune in for a new episode release every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. That's Thursdays, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And in the meantime, listen to all the episodes on Raise Nation Radio. Follow the channel that you like best so that you can get notifications about our new guests. We just highlighted 4 of them. Fundraisers are doing amazing things to build better tomorrows for our communities. Stories are awe-inspiring. You won't want to miss a single episode. I would like to thank OneCause for making this episode possible. OneCause is driving the future of fundraising with easy-to-use software solutions that help nonprofits connect with their donors. Check it out at OneCause.com. And as we mentioned earlier, visit the resource tab on the homepage for a broad catalog of ebooks and blogs and videos and infographics that you'll find helpful. A huge shout out and thanks to my friends, my marketing colleagues, and my very special guests for just sharing their authentic voice about our customers and everything fundraising. Thank you, Blair, Maggie, Sarah, for being with me today. It's kind of a unique inspiration and episode for Raise Nation, but I loved every minute of it. So I have to ask, we always close out our show with last words of inspiration. So we're going to go around robin from the 3 of you. Any last words of inspiration for our audience?
Yeah, I have a quote actually from Jimmy Valvano, Jimmy B, who's a role model of mine. He said, in every single day, in every walk of life, ordinary people do extraordinary things. And whenever I see the missions and fearless fundraisers doing what they do out there, I think it's pretty extraordinary. So thank you to everyone out
special. There. So special. Maggie, how about you?
My piece of advice is about persevering. It's being fearless. It's kind of a motto that I live by. And my mom taught it to me as a young age, is that obstacles are only put in your path because, and the world knows that you can overcome them. So just keep keep being fearless, and go forth.
Aw, so sweet. All right. Bring us home, Sarah.
Absolutely. I got one more quote for y'all. As we work to create light for others, we naturally light our own way. So thank you to the fearless fundraisers who created light in 2022. What you do matters. Your mission matters. And I can't wait to see what 2023 brings.
And we'll be here to support you every step of the way. That's beautiful, Sarah. Thank you so much. I have one too. I forget who to attribute it to, so I apologize. But if you ask yourself the question, what if I fall? Oh, but darling, what if you fly? So here's to flying and soaring and fundraising success in 2023. Happy end of year giving. We wish you all the best success. If you need any help, we're all here for you. All the Blairs and Maggies and Sarahs and Dawns are ready to help in any way that you need. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Raise Nation Radio is going on hiatus. So we'll be back in January and we'll hopefully be delivering lots of great content across the board. So thank you again all so much. Blair, Maggie, Sarah, thank you. This was so much fun.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Dawn.
All right, everybody, that's a wrap. Until next time, I'm Dawn Lego. This is Raise Nation Radio. You stay fearless out there.